Well, nothing quite like stepping in with some expectation. Thank you, lottery winner comment, Joel. Jeff Cohen, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Dan Gilbert, Jeff Cohen, and Nate Forbes, because Jeff Cohen actually likes to think of himself as a 3-time lottery winner, so I'll defer to him on that. First, I'd like to thank Mrs. Benson, Dennis Lauscha, and the entire Pelicans organization and ownership team for entrusting us with this incredible opportunity. I'm humbled and honored to represent this franchise and our amazingly passionate fan base. As an aside, my infatuation with New Orleans began when I was 14 years old. I promised the people who used to work for me I wasn't going to cry, so I'm going to fight this. I bought the first suit and sport coat that I owned in advance of a trip to New Orleans for what was the International Video Game Convention. A classmate's father invited me to join he and his family to attend. And I remember this like it was yesterday. Our very first meal was at Pascal's Manali. Our second meal
shut the fuck up. Giles, you know how you rockin', nigga. Nobody really honestly gives a fuck about your press conference. Everybody knows what this about. If you fuck with the NBA, if you follow that shit, can you keep AD, bruh? Now, everybody knows David Griffin was the GM for LeBron. His whole time, he came back for the second time in Cleveland and led them to a championship, putting that whole roster together with JR, making the trades, all this shit, getting all them niggas paid. This shit is all about keeping AD. Them niggas went out to get him as the VP of operations for there. So that's the vice president, which solely and specifically just requires you to be on your job when it comes to managing the roster. That's the job description. David Griffin specializes in that shit. Obviously, he's won. His resume shows for that. But can you keep AD, bruh? That's the whole thing. Can you keep Anthony Davis on the team, or is he just going to bounce like this motherfucker said he was going to do at the end of the year? Everybody knows the shit that happened on his shirt, with the shirt he wore at the end of the season this past week when they ended the regular season. My man's Anthony Davis had a shirt that said, "That's all, folks," like he was straight out of a Looney Tune. My nigga said that's all, folks, because he's gone. He didn't plan on staying, but with David Griffin being hired, it could be interesting to see how the relationship and impact with Bron and in the Lakers, David Griffin, Anthony Davis, Rich Paul, Clutch Sports all connects together, because all three of them, when I say three, I mean David Griffin, LeBron, and Rich Paul, or I should say four, Anthony Davis, have a great communication with each other. And it should be interesting because we all know AD wants to play in LA. But shit, could David Griffin keep AD there? I think he need to do something in free agency. This year he need to pick up at least a top tier 2 guy. You're obviously not going to get no Kawhi or KD coming to New Orleans, but somebody like in a Jimmy Butler, Tobias Harris, or something like that, Nikola Vucic, somebody like that could come, you feel me? That would be the only thing that would keep AD to me, because obviously he'll have a whole lot of money on the table if he leaves, that he's going to give up almost $100 million in a lucrative deal. It just makes sense. But what y'all think going to happen to AD? Y'all let me know. Comment, links, subscribe, hitting the jaws. You know how you rocking. Jaws.